Go time. Make sure everything's up in public and running. That's good. Yeah. So here we go. Hey everybody. My name is Jake Brune. And like I said, I'm gonna start building my business. Eventd. I'm gonna be doing software consulting. With using event modeling for designing systems and event sourcing when I go to build them. Yeah. So let's just jump right in. Cool. I'm going to switch over here to Miro. All right, my design surface. All right, let's get going here. Let's name this Eventd. And if you're new to event modeling, well, let's go through a little learning session right now. It's kind of one of those things, kind of like board games where it's like 1 minute to learn, but a lifetime to master. Not really. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna grab a gold sticky note here. Some people use orange. I like to use gold because it's a little bit yellow, a little bit orange, but I think it keys people to the fact that it is very important, and events are the most important piece here. So I switch it over to a wide one, and then I typically switch it to just a square. And let's do a little black on the border, something like that. Just like an event here. We're also going to be working with commands. And our commands are represented in the loop. And then we also have models or states. And those are represented in green. And one more. Here we got white. And we'll say, I like to use the term interface. This could be a screen. This could be an API. Really, it's just some interface into your system. All right. Let's see here. Let's see if chat is working. Okay. Let's see, where am I here? So these are the kind of the main 4 components when you're doing event modeling. There's a few additional pieces here. You know, we have actors for people that actually interface with the interfaces. And we also have automations. Automations are much like just like a human, but just like whenever somebody's working with the system and you want a computer to automate something, you know, it replaces a human. So we represent that in event modeling using a gear. So let's find a good gear. All right, I'm just gonna go with that classic gear right there. Those kind of go together, and with these 5 pieces and a few lines, we're going to end up creating some slices. State change slices, which go interface, command, event, or it might go automation, command, event. See, automations, interfaces, pretty much interchangeable. They just represent, you know, that the machine's gonna be doing something, or maybe even somebody else. So then we got models, and then models state view slices, which go event, model, interface, and then like the automation slice here, we also have event model automations. so we can feed information to the models. I mean, to the automations. Great. And we'll just connect those up like that. And we'll just kind of, oops, I'll delete that one. Let's go event model interface and event model interface. All right, those are kind of our slices. Put those up for there. We'll just kind of use that as a template for later. Okay. So let's see. I started Evntd. I think it was February 17th is when I got my first official piece of paperwork. I got licensed by the state of Oregon. It's been about 19 days since then. I've been kind of doing a slow roll into this, kind of just preparing all the things. I haven't just been sitting on my butt the whole time. But I've had to learn a lot. Here's some of the things that I've done. Let's write them down. Let's see, I got that bigger. Licensed by Oregon, licensed by the federal government, bigger. Federal government got licensed by the city of Hillsborough, my municipality. Let's see, what else did I have to do? I set up a bank account. Bought a domain. Yeah, definitely did that. I was lucky. I feel like I was lucky because this was the name that I wanted and it was available. You know, that can be tough to do sometimes. Show that real fast here. Boom. Let's transition. That's for the website. Go check it out. Evntd.com. Let's transition back. Okay. Bought a domain. Let's see, set up email. Met with a few people in the Portland area that were also interested in event modeling. It's great to see that there's already some community here in the Portland metro area. I want to help foster that. So if you're interested and you're close by, reach out, please. Let's have a talk. Let's see. I've done a few other things as well. As I remember them, I will put those up. But cool. So what do I actually want to do today? Here. So if we go back to the website, read through everything. But what I really want is I need a way for people to sign up for event modeling sessions, because that's kind of like really the entry point for, I think, my business. Doing custom, software design and implementations. I need people to, and I want to only do event modeling and event sourcing. So I'd like to drive people to my website to get event modeling workshops set up. So I need a way for them to sign in. I need to collect a little bit of information, schedule some available dates that the workshop could be run on. And then, yeah, I guess do payment, get work agreements signed, potentially scheduling, scheduling, is it going to be remote or is it going to be on site? If it's remote, I need to make sure they have the right tools for that client, whether it be Zoom, Slack, or Discord, or it's Teams, any one of the teleconferencing tools. If you want to do on-site, then there's a lot more detail I need to get collected. Could be Things like, is this going to be on site across the country? Do I need to book a plane? Do I need to book a car, hotel? I need to figure that stuff out. Is it regional? Can I just hop on the road, meet up with you within a few hours drive? Things like that. Just logistics. So let's get to it. Back here. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of run this like a event modeling. I'm gonna just try and do the first step of event modeling, which is brainstorming. So right now we're only gonna deal with events. Events represent things that have happened, facts that have occurred in the past, basically capturing the information that you need in your system to drive the system forward. So I have an event here. So let's think about this. I want people to book. So I want something like maybe remote workshop requested. Great, that's a little bit too big. I really like to use robotic condensed. That's a nicer. That's cool. And maybe I'll have on-site workshop requested. And then after somebody requests a remote workshop, I want to, of course, send them a confirmation. So remote workshop request confirmation. Send that to them. So sent. Mouthful. Likewise, let's say for on-site. I'm splitting these two up because they actually think you need to collect way more information to prep for an on-site workshop than you do a remote workshop, and it's just different. Like I was saying, I'll need to know the city, potentially like the actual address that I need to show up at. Whereas with a remote workshop, I really just need to know what kind of tool works to do the workshop, Okay. So after they request, I send them a confirmation. That'll come over to me. I'll need to figure out some stuff, but ultimately I'm going to do a remote workshop. Schedule it. So remote workshop scheduled. I'm just going to put those aside. A lot of that's going to be duplicated. It's really going to be different in the data. After a remote workshop has been scheduled, then I'll probably want to send out a working agreement. So, agreement. And that is probably going to be something like a DocuSign. So I probably want to keep track of when I sign it. So just when I sign it, and then the potential client signs it. So signed. Okay, and then I might want to cancel. That would be a real bummer. I don't want people to cancel. I want to share this with the world. Okay, hopefully I'm not too mumbly. I know that's been a critique in the past. So please, if I am, let's see here. I should pull this up in the chat. There we go. See the chat. Man, burning through coffee quick. So instead of canceling, what I would like people to do is uh, reschedule if they can't make it. So, and then after that, we would, after the working agreement signed, there, we want to invoice invoice paid. So it's kind of like generating here. Actually, let's move this down for now. Let's just work on the remote stuff. Work on the remote stuff. Paid. Oh yeah. Paid. Invoice sent. I'm gonna need to collect a few different emails here, probably. So I'm guessing the person that signs up for a workshop is not the same person. Well, it could potentially be the person that needs to sign the working agreement. They might have to have some signing authority. So I might need a different email address there. Same for invoices. The person signing up might be the person responsible for receiving the invoice and getting that paid. They might want that sent to somebody in their like in the financial department of their organization. But I can at least CC them on it. Invoice sent, so invoice paid, and then we have once the invoice is paid, I want to send them a receipt. So receipt sent. I'll probably need I'll need a copy of it as well. For some amount of time, I'll need a copy. Do I? I'm not sure. Say receipt generated for now. For that. Doesn't matter if I'm wrong. It's easy to refactor an event model. A lot easier than refactoring a whole bunch of code or just changing a whole bunch of code. Let's see here. Invoice sent, invoice paid, receipt generated, receipt sent, invoiced. Maybe it's really just invoice generated. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So I'll be invoicing potentially other things, not just invoicing remote workshops. And it really doesn't matter because a remote workshop at that point is just really a line item. Okay. So if it's been paid and then a workshop gets canceled, here I'm gonna need a cancellation policy. Let's just add a sticky note here. Need a cancellation policy. That will probably be part of the working agreement. I'm not sure. Maybe it just needs to be another document that gets to. Of course, remote workshops would be a whole lot easier to cancel than they will on-site workshops. Especially like, if I already have stuff booked, lodging and airfare. I think that's why sometimes there's that, maybe half the money up front, and then if you cancel, you don't get the full refund back. It's because of situations like this where a small business has actually, spent money already that will then only be converted probably into like hotel or airline credit, and so you're kind of stuck. So that needs firm document. I probably need to get that created and reviewed by an attorney. Okay, so canceled, rescheduled. That should be fairly easy. Of course, pretty much after all of these things I'm gonna want to send confirmation, just so there's like a trail for the business, for myself and for potential clients of all of the things that are occurring. So let's add that. Let's go. Remote workshop rescheduled. That's more like the end. So they're gonna have to, if they want to reschedule, they'll probably have to pick a few new dates. I'm gonna have to also take a look at that. Whatever suggested dates they might choose, I'm gonna have to pick one. So it's kind of like the initial setup again, where you just are initially requesting it. Well, it's really just a change of date. All of the other information I think would stay the same. Probably not though, because it's real life. Things change. But I'll just go with that for now. So really, I want a schedule remote workshop. Reschedule requested. That's going to begin kind of like the rescheduling process. And then it's going to end with it being rescheduled. And then sent. Okay, so you can see we're kind of building out a story here when we're event modeling. If should all make sense. So somebody goes in, requested a remote workshop, system sends them a confirmation. That's like in an email, basically parroting back the information that they filled out, just to make sure that I captured all the information correctly. Then I will get notified. Me or my wife will get notified, and then we will confirm it. Confirm on a specific date. That's what this remote workshop scheduled is. After that, we'll start sending some agreements. Send those out, email those. I'll sign it. They sign it. And then we generate an invoice. Get that sent out. What's paid. Send them a receipt. Generate a receipt. Send it. Okay. And then say remote schedule. Remote workshop. Remote work. Say remote work. Yeah. Okay, then what after? What What comes next? This is where, let's say they potentially still follow the happy path for a bit. I'm going to just put those down here lower for now. I definitely want to handle those cases of if you need to cancel or reschedule. I just want to focus on kind of more of the happy path right now. So once you get that, I'm gonna want to send out. You don't want to send out like iCalendars so that those could be shared around with the potential client that wants to run this workshop. I'm also gonna want to. It's really just to generate an email that has like maybe some prep materials for the client. So I think that's good. So yeah, I'll just say one last one, remote workshop. So I've lots of different confirmations. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I wish I had some music, but I've heard, and I could be wrong on this. If you're playing licensed music in the background, you can get your videos pulled down. But man, I really like working with music. I need to figure something out with that. All right. Let's see here. All right. That's a decent start, I think. Okay, let's see. So some time goes on. It's getting closer to the remote workshop. Um, and then catastrophe happens, and the person needs to reach out and reschedule. So that requested that. Tell them, hey, I got your request to reschedule. Of course, I'm gonna have some times in there potentially what they want to reschedule to. Send the confirmation. Of course, I'm gonna need to take a look at that and then get them a remote rescheduled. Man, lots of emails, lots of communication. I'm gonna need to figure out a good email sending solution there. Used MailChimp in the past. Also used what is I'm forgetting now. I'm forgetting the name. Of course, use SES on AWS. That works. What else? Raygun? Is that another one? So remote workshop rescheduled. Remote workshop rescheduled. Confirmation. Great. That once again is going to need to send out like an iCal update everybody who got it. Going back here though, I'll say workshop regardless of it to be an in-person or on-site workshop, I'm going to want to send like a packet of information about the workshop ahead of time. Just set some expectations. Like I said, give some learning materials. So I'm just going to say workshop. It. That I'm going to fix the name of that later. That's not the right term. Okay. So now, if the unfortunate case happens and the remote workshop cancels, cancel remote workshop. I want this to be a cancellation to be somewhat of a process as well. So I really want to find out why. I mean, I'm not going to stop somebody, but I sure would like to know why they want to cancel the remote workshop. I mean, was it something I did or said, or maybe it just didn't work out? Maybe they couldn't get the funding. Things change a lot, so just got to be prepared. But I would like to know why. So, so once again, I'll have a remote workshop canceled, and a patience. That will then, update once again the iCal calendar. I think that's pretty good here. It tells a story. It's already getting to be quite long, but not too bad. Cancellation policy. Actually, I need a agreement. I get to at least get a working agreement started. I'm no attorney, so I'll probably use my $20 a month Oracle to at least help me get that ball rolling there. Then get that reviewed by an attorney. Take way less time, and it was quite expensive to have them either pull out a template, make adjustments. So if I could bring my own, I'm thinking that will save me a little cash. Man, burning through the coffee fast. Might need to take a little break here for a minute. And then we'll jump into on-site workshops. I think a lot of on-site is the same. It's really just the details I collect. So I might just duplicate a lot of this first part. But I want them to be different because they ultimately will be different flows. Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to take a real quick break, get some more coffee to keep this train going. Let's see here. Let's put that up. Oh, let's do some on-the-fly OBS stuff. Oh, yeah, I spent the last couple days. If you had already been subscribed to my channel, you probably saw a few live streams start. That's just because I'm a total noob at OBS. It's a really cool tool though. So I've never done any streaming, but this makes it so simple. Really awesome. So let's cut over here. Let's add something on the fly. Let's go. Boom. Can I do a text field? Yeah. Let's say call this. I'm gonna call this little text source be back soon. Okay. Uh, getting another. Be right back. Get another coffee. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, select font. Let's go. No sans. No. Gosh, there's so many Nodo fonts. There we go. Nodo sans. Let's do like size 12. No, let's do 14, 16. No, 16. That's great. Boom. There. Okay. That's it. I think that. Oh man. All right. I'll be back in just a few. I've actually it's gonna be like 3 or 4 minutes. I have this. I do a single cup drip, and that takes some time. I don't make a big cup pot of coffee because then it turns into like a cappuccino, and that just tastes kind of gross later on. So I make it fresh every time, and it takes time. So be back soon. All right, I'm back. Got my big cup of coffee here. It took a little bit longer than I expected. The electric tea kettle was totally out of water, so I had to wait for all that to heat up. But now we're back in business. While I was away, let's see here. Let's go here. Pull this back up. Okay. While I was away, I kind of realized I just kind of jumped straight into it and didn't really provide a whole lot of detail on what I was actually doing here. So what I am doing is kind of the event modeling workshop format. If you go to eventmodeling.org and go to blogs and go to Adam's post on Adam Dimitrich's post on event modeling, what is it? This one here. He kind of does like a nice explanation of the steps of the workshop. So here we go. Brainstorming. That's what we're kind of doing right now. Thinking of all the ideas potentially of like what this system needs to do. Then we kind of arrange them into a plausible story. I'm kind of doing 1 and 2 at the same time. I kind of read it left to right and then right to left just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then shortly later, we'll jump into storyboarding. That's building like lo-fi mock-ups to essentially capture the data or display the information that is going to be stored in events. Later on, we'll start identifying inputs. That's when we get commands. We start bringing the commands into the picture, like boom, commands. And then after that, we identify the outputs and we apply Conway's law. This is a fun one. And I was totally wrong the first few times that I tried to apply Conway's law. What I was doing was trying to get a business to conform to an information system. It's almost like reverse Conway's law. Like, hey, you should change your business to meet the communication patterns of this system. It doesn't work like that. You need to design your systems so that it works for the business and their communication patterns. You'll be way more successful if you do it that way. And then lastly, we got the elaborate scenarios, and that's when we add in the given when thens, like our behavior driven development style tests. Given when thens, those kind of help flesh out the requirements when it comes to when we go to implementation time. So, and with that, back to the brainstorming. Okay, so here we are. Like I said before, on-site are going to be very similar to remote workshops. But I do want to track them differently, at least for now. At least I think I do right now. Let's see here. But when it comes to like booking airfare or booking lodging or a rental car to get to a place, I don't necessarily want to build that into my system. I'd rather just go out to, Expedia or one of the other sites and find the best price that I can. And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, so a lot of these first ones at least are going to be the same. So like on-site workshop request confirmation sent, remote workshop request. So we'll say we'll have one like that, a on-site workshop scheduled. still going to send out working agreements. I think I can use one working agreement as the details for both, whether it be for remote or on-site. So I don't need two different agreements. So that'll be the same. That'll be the same. Actually, here's a question for the event modeling community. Like, while these are different, the rest of the workflow is going to be the same. So I'm only going to need to implement these once. Or should I duplicate them? Yeah, I'll just duplicate them on here so they're part of the timeline. Those. Put all of these down here will be duplicated. I just won't put a slice box around it. And if you're new to event modeling, what slice box? What is he talking about? Eventually, we're going to organize this into vertical slices, where it's either like one of these, a state change slice or a state view slice. And then if it needs to be implemented, I'll draw a box around that, and I can color code that box to say, hey, is it to do? Is it in progress? Is it done? Is it deployed? Has it been agreed to by the client? Has that individual slice been invoiced and paid for? Yeah, so I can track all sorts of stuff with just one more box around the slice. So I just won't do that when it comes to all these duplicates here. So working agreement sent, signed, invoice generated, sent, paid, receipt generated, receipt sent. All of that is the same. So just throw those there. That's going to be different. So on-site workshop confirmed. Okay, boom. On-site workshop confirmed. On-site workshop confirmation sent. Let's see. Workshop packet. I still want to do that. Then the rescheduling and cancellation. Pretty much the same workflow. But reimbursement. That's one of the things why this is different. So, like I was saying earlier, if you cancel an on-site workshop, I might have already have had some expenses that I need to have covered. So the way that the payment gets reimbursed is going to be a little bit different. It's easy to cancel something that's remote, not really out anything. So I'm going to definitely need different events to track if it was a remote or an on-site workshop cancellation. Same goes for rescheduling. There's probably going to be some sort of rescheduling fee. Hopefully it should be pretty minor, because I think a lot of airlines will just charge like 75, maybe it's 150 now. Who knows? Yeah, so let's do that. Reschedule remote workshop requested. Confirmation. Change those. Remote workshop. Okay, let's just do the rescheduling bits first. Here. Cool. So reschedule on-site workshop. On-site workshop. Reschedule on-site workshop. Request confirmation. Say yes, I received your request to reschedule. And now it is rescheduled. A little bit smaller. There we go. Getting kind of wordy. On site rescheduled confirmation. Yeah, okay. Confirmed. Black gold. Ooh. No, I was thinking. So here I've been very much thinking of all the things that a potential prospect would want to go through, but to drive this, I'm going to need my own calendar. But I digress. Let's see here. I'm just going to do this. Go back here to the beginning. Before they even start, I'm going to have to schedule shop. I'm just going to How about this? How about this? I switch it to a sticky note. Say think about calendar scheduling. That's just a little note for myself to flesh out more of the system here on the front end. That's more on like my end. What are the screens I'm gonna need to manage my own calendar? Yeah. But let's go back. Let's finish the on-site stuff. So on-site cancellation. Copy those. Cancel on-site workshop request. Cancel on requested. Got to make it past tense. It's something that happened in the past. There's no changing the past. Past tense. On-site workshop canceled. No. On-site workshop cancellation request. Ooh, what do I need to do to reimburse somebody? Do I have to send them like an invoice? Like a reverse invoice or just a receipt? Some sort of remittance. Send reimbursement. How do I do that? I'm gonna have to dig into that. My $20 a month junior, who's very broad in most skills, probably talk to him a little bit. Him or it, them. I'm not sure. The Oracle of the Age, I think year A says that. Kind of like that, the Oracle of the Age. Okay. So I've spent about an hour brainstorming now. I already got quite a few events. I mean, this can build a, this describes a pretty good system. I know there's going to be changes along the way. One of the great parts about doing this for myself is, you know, I don't have to get buy off from anybody. I can just, design a system to fit my own needs, which is really great. When you're designing within another company, you're trying to solve a problem for somebody. You got to get lots of heads together, and it's great to collaborate. Um, but it's also kind of nice doing this on my own and driving the whole process. It would be fun though to get somebody else like Adam, Dimitri, Martin, Dilger, if you guys want to ever jump on with me and critique what I'm doing, that'd be awesome. You guys have been both running your own businesses for a while now, and getting some of your insight would be fantastic. Okay, I think this is good. At least good for now. Let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, close to about 40 events. Not bad for an hour. All right, so next thing we want to do, we kind of already have these, like I said before, we've kind of done brainstorming and why am I struggling brainstorming and the plot. We've kind of done those together. Now we'll kind of move on to storyboarding. And the way I storyboard, I know it's good to do lo-fi mockups. And I'm going to do lo-fi mockups, but I tend to maybe put a little bit more in there from time to time. So remote workshop requested. What information do I need to collect? Well, the person who signed up. So here, let me grab an interface here. This is going to represent like a screen on my website. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so we have some more real estate to work with. Pull this over. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Boom. Okay. So this is going to be like a web form. So let's give it a title. That's too big. Back down to Roboto Condensed. Let's do, how about 24? There we go. Talk. Tick, talk. 24. Let's say schedule an event modeling workshop. Okay. Let's do that. And let's see here. I'm going to need another little rectangle here. I think that'll fit for now. I'll collect the person's name. Know who I'm working with here. It's good to build relationships. And it's good to know people's names and how to pronounce them. The name, obviously I'm going to need an email address. Copy that. So I'd like to know what their company is named. I mean, I can probably figure it out from their email domain, but sometimes that's off, especially if you've gone through an acquisition. There's always this period of time where you might be in the middle of changing email addresses. Okay, so name, email, company. So who's gonna want to worship? I actually like doing that right justified there. Name, email, company. Let's right justify all of those. Ooh. Ooh. I'd like to know at this point, are they looking to do a remote workshop, or if they want to do an on-site workshop? And that's going to kind of be a fork in the road on potentially what screens in like kind of like this wizard style setup that need to be displayed. So I really need to yeah, let's just model that. We'll get to it. So I really want like a checkbox. No, more like a radio button. It's either you select a remote or an on-site workshop. Radio button, like just pull out a little circle here. Good. And we'll say remote. Those line, and we'll say on site. I need like a question here, like where to meet. On site. That's obviously I need to know the actual potential dates that this workshop is going to be on. So I don't really want to draw a calendar here. That will be very time consuming. So let's see if I can just find a calendar icon. That's good. Calendar on there. Shrink that down a little bit. Okay. And on that, I kind of want people to select potentially multiple dates, even if it's fed from like my own personal calendar to show what's available. I'd like people to be able to choose a handful of dates that would work for them, so that I could potentially choose from a subset of dates that works best with my schedule as well as their schedule. Let's see. Name, email, company, remote, on-site. Yeah. And then depending on if they click remote, or actually, no, I want this on the next screen, the calendar on the next screen. And the reason being is if it's remote, that's usually easy to accommodate. I could probably turn one of those around within 24 hours. But if it's on site, I'm gonna need some lead time, and depending on how far the travel, if it is regional, is it across the country? Is it halfway through the country? You know, I'm gonna need potentially a week or two to get all the things arranged to make that happen. Um, if it's international, that could be even longer. I mean, it'd be awesome to go international. Be a lot of fun to see, but then you get like governments involved and being here in the U.S. Who knows about international stuff right now? Things are kind of wild. So name, email, company, online, and then I'm gonna probably do like a next button. So this is really like a screen. I might go through a couple screens, wizard style, to collect a bunch of information and then send one command that's going to record either a remote workshop requested or an on-site workshop requested event. Of course, I can use like conditional displays as well, and do it all on one screen. That just adds a bit more JavaScript to the page. It's not bad, but I'm gonna at least design this kind of wizard-like implementation. I might choose to do the conditional display stuff if it's easier, but for now, okay, so this looks good. I just need a button. Let's say a button here. Let's see, I use these rounded rectangles for buttons. And let's center that text and say next. Okay, and then what I like to do is kind of group those. Boom. Oh, not lock. I want to group. I just want to be able to move them all. Okay, next. Let's copy that again. Instead of schedule, I'm going to say request for an event modeling workshop. An RFEMW. Maybe I can make that a new acronym instead of RFP, an RFEMW. Heard it first here. Okay, let's ungroup those. So now, so if it's remote, let's just fill that in. Okay, let's fill that in. So choose available dates for workshop. Great. Remove all these. Oop. Nope. Ah. Come on. Boom. There. Easier. Okay. Request. Oh. I didn't want to remove all that stuff. I wanted to keep my title. Spent a lot of effort on that title. Okay, choose available dates. Right. So bring it to the front. Make that really big. Boom, 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 boom. So you can select button in there too. Okay. Next. Choose available dates. And last, to potentially say, like, I'm actually curious to know, like, how many participants will be in it. Expected, like, roughly. Hosting a meeting for 4 people is not the same as hosting a meeting for 50 or 100 people. One takes a little bit more prep work. So if I could just have a rough estimation on how many people are going to be attending the workshop, it would just help me prepare better. So yeah, let's try and get that information. So yeah, let's title that. I don't know what to call this. I'm just going to say additional information. Additional workshop details. Okay. So in this, I want to say what size was I using there? 18. Estimated number of workshop participants. Okay, got that. That of course will be probably a number control. Implementation time. Let's zoom in here. And let's say centered. Let's just say there's going to be 8 participants. There's got to be at least one. There's probably some max too, especially for remote. That probably depends on the tooling. I don't know what Zoom versus Slack versus Teams supports. I know they can support a lot. But yeah, that's a question for another day. If I ever reach that extreme where 300 people want to join for a workshop, I mean, that's a good problem to have. But I don't need to deal with it until it happens. So, lastly, I'd kind of like to know like what the participants are looking to get out of it. Is it more like just a training session, or if they could kind of describe, the area that they're trying, or their goals or desired outcomes. So why don't I just create like a big text box here and say something along the lines of please give, let's make that smaller, it's too big. Please give a brief description of your desired outcomes for the workshop. That could be of your that works. Boom. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. 8. So let's go in and fill some detail. So let's say who is going to be requesting. I could always pull out some like Star Wars name. I don't want to get sued by Disney, so I don't think they would. Not using any imagery, just a name. Let's say Skywalker. He wants to come and do an event modeling workshop. It'll be like L. Let's say his email is l.skywalker at rebel alliance.org. Great. Company rebel. Great. So Luke Skywalker, he wants a remote meeting. It's probably good. It'd probably take a long time to reach his part of the galaxy, and it happened a long time ago. So time's probably passed. Okay, and then he gets to click next. So I like to do that, and then do a little ... Just kind of use that to represent more like client side navigation or interface navigation. Ultimately, these three screens here collect all the information in a, the wizard style to then ultimately issue a command to the system and record this remote workshop requested event. Just push that up a bit there. And let's do button here. Request workshop. Make that a little bit wider. Okay, move these over. Okay. There. Choose some dates. That's my workshops. Okay, that. Remote requested. And then request confirmation sent. There's not really a screen there. This is going to be more of a to-do list, and we'll get into the to-do list pattern later. It's always a hot topic in the event modeling community. Actually, I'm going to take another just little quick break here. Just collect my thoughts. Actually, you know what? I have not. I want to share this board with people. So if anybody who's watching needs to have a closer peek, yeah. So 1 second here. Let me get that sorted for you. Okay. Okay, so anybody that's with this link that I'm giving out should be able to jump onto the board and view it. I'm not going to enable comments right now. I mean, the event modeling community is great, but since this is public to the internet, I don't want some spammers to get a hold of this link and then just start bombarding my board, which then triggers notifications, which then makes sounds on my phone, and that could potentially wake me up in the middle of the night, and that would make me grumpy. Now I don't want that. So view only for right now. If you do want comment access, I'm happy to give it. Just reach out to me. I'm on the event modeling Discord. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube, Blue Sky and X as well. So you can probably get a hold of me and I can give you a link to comment on the board. Okay, so I got that. Let's see if this works. Oh, hey, I didn't have my chat up. Hey, Martin Major. Thanks for joining. You did note down all your desired data. Yeah, I do that too. I kind of jump past that, and I'm kind of working through it right now with the screens. Potato, tomato. I need to keep that up so I can see it more. Like I said, new to streaming, so lots of stuff going on here. Thank you, Martin, for commenting. I need to put this somewhere where I can see it more easily so I can make sure I'm on top of all these comments. Okay, let's switch back. Okay. So, as Martin was saying, he likes to start with the events and then kind of flesh out the schema of the events or the data that needs to be collected in the events. And I kind of went in straight into doing the storyboarding. It really just, like I said, tomato, potato, doesn't really matter as long as I am modeling for the new website for my company. Yep, indeed. And I do that too, just kind of whatever I feel like. I wanted to jump more into like a little bit of the mock-ups right now. But I will, when I start looking at inputs and outputs, that's when I tend to add the schema a bit more, because then I can just quickly copy paste them around. I'm partially visual, I would say, so it kind of helps me collect my thoughts to look at some potential screens and think about like what if I was at this screen, what would I want to collect, and then I just kind of backport those into the events and commands later on. Nothing here once again for the sent. We'll get to that later. I'm myself am gonna need a screen though. Like after somebody makes a request, I want to have like a list of potentially all the workshop requests. So this is going to be more for a prospective client. So let's start. Yeah, so I'm going to actually jump ahead a little bit here. And I'm going to make a swim lane for the UI, different UIs I'm potentially going to have. So I'm going to move those up. Now I'm going to keep these down lower for now. I'll put another one up here, but let's mark not diagram and shape. So it's that one. Let's say person. Find a person icon. That'll be in our actor. We can go generic here. I like these mural icons have some cute little people here. Let's wait for a few more to load. Yeah, here we go. Oh, what am I doing? Great, let's do that. There. And let's give that actor a name. Say they're prospective client. And let's group those up. Great. And that's kind of a lane, meaning that these screens are for prospective clients to use. And then I'm going to need another one for myself. I could add an image. I could add myself in here. Hold on 1 second here. Image. Photos, pictures. Oh, this is a good one. Here we go. Let's make it roughly the same size. Okay. Okay. These screens up here are going to be for that guy. Okay. Copy that. This is going to be a list of workshop requested. And it's kind of almost like an inbox, really. I want to go to this screen after I get a notification that a remote workshop was requested. I'm going to want to go to a screen on my website where I can see essentially these details at a high level. I'm going to probably want to do kind of your traditional workflow here where you get a list that has some of the top level information, maybe like the name and the company and the potential date, show that almost like the subject line. And then I'm going to want to do probably another screen that's more like the detail view. And that's where I can actually do commands like confirm or schedule like that. So let's just model. Let's just do a little mock-up here. So workshops requested. No, I don't want that. I don't want a text box. I want. Ooh. Actually, Martin, you got a good point there. I think I do want to start modeling some of the data, at least in this workshop requested, at least capture what I have. So first things first, let's zoom in here. Kind of this area, so I have access to all of it. I want to shrink that down. I want to do right justified or left justified on the top. Shrink that down a little bit so it's a one-liner. Okay. When somebody makes a request, I'm going to want an ID. Remote workshop request ID or just an ID. I think that's simple enough. Let's just do something super simple like 2025 0305. And then I don't suspect I'm going to be getting 100 workshop requests a day, so we'll get 2 more digits. That'd be wild. ID, capture the name, so Luke Skywalker. Here we want email L Skywalker at rebel.org. That's already getting a little bit too big, so I can shrink that down. Make it a little wider. Increase the size. There we go. Company. We already know it's a remote workshop. From that, it's written into the event name. Then I'll probably want like available dates. And it could be, let's say Luke picked 2025. I don't really care about the format. I do care. 3, let's say. Let's say he wants to schedule it for the Pi Day. For Pi Day. Oh, Pi Day. I'm looking forward to Pi Day. I hope everybody celebrates Pi Day. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It's key lime pie, some apple pie. Actually, yeah, apple pie, lemon, meringue pie, pumpkin pie, cherry pie, all the pies, pecan pie. Chocolate. Oh, chocolate pie. That's really good. not on the 14th. Ooh, and Pi Day's even on a Friday. Awesome. But oh man, maybe I'll make one of my own. My sister-in-law makes the best crust. And I might have to reach out. Okay. 314, 318. Let's say he's real nice and he gives me 3 available dates to choose from: the 14th, the 18th, and maybe the 19th. Great. And then estimated participants 8, and then a description, like details. What should I call that field? Let's just call it desired outcome. And we need to fill that in. What is Luke's desired outcome? Well, let's say he wants to design a system to stop the spread of the galactic empire. Sounds fun. Sounds daunting. Okay, copy that in. So now we go through these screens. We're going to collect that information. We'll get to the other bits in here in a bit. Okay. Yeah. So on this screen, you're going to want to source the information. That's where the state view slices will come in a little bit later. But what do I want on my inbox page? I want to specify the ID, what the company is, and then probably the person's name. Let's shrink that down, zoom in a little bit. Let's say, let's do number 503. What did I use for the ID? 030501. 501. Great. Let's bold that. I'm going to want this screen to, what did I say? Bold on. Luke Skywalker. Alliance. There. It'll probably be in like some table format. Yeah, and that'll probably be, I'll have a link. Let's just do that. Let's add a little button here. Get rid of the white. Extend that out. Middle justify that. Let's say details. View details. There, so if I get multiple, go in there. Okay, great. Get another screen up here because this is again going to kind of link over to this page, the detail page. It's the list page, the detail page. So even though I'm going to be doing event sourcing, it's still quite easy to build all these traditional, what you'd think of as CRUD screens using event sourcing. I just don't use the create, update, and delete verbs. Occasionally I do use create. I try to find different synonyms though. But okay. So on this page, this is going to be like full details for this remote workshop requested, and maybe like even a state of the request, requested, confirmed, or requested, scheduled, etc. So workshop. So let's do something big. Workshop request number 255. 30521. Hope my volume is okay. While I was prepping, I had struggled with getting the audio to work just right. So let's shrink that down. Fold that workshop request. Yep, there we go. Let's see here. Let's again copy another. Now normally, like in a if I was doing this with a company, I wouldn't probably spend so much time on these screens, but all I have right now is time, and I'm doing this the way that I want to do it. But really what I do is something really lightweight. Maybe not, maybe just collect the fields. And that's a good signal to like go reach out to like a designer who can put more professional effort around making a real UI mock-up that could be used later on in the implementation. I don't want to go reach out or do some, I don't want to spend a ton of time doing big Figma design, so I'm going to kind of work on this like a little, I would say medium thigh design, and I'll probably just start building straight from that, and then iterate through during the build out. Luke Skywalker, Rebel Alliance. What else? Okay, next, Luke Skywalker. I want to have another little one next to him. I don't need to know his email address right there, but I do want a way to potentially send an email to Luke after he's made the request. So really what I want to do is just have a button here. No, not an emoji. Let's say email. What kind of icon does that give me? Gmail icon, yeah. That works. I like that. Yeah, let's just go with that one. Boom. So they'll just do something really simple here when I go to build this. This is just going to hook up with my email client and start crafting an email. Kind of an ad hoc email. Let's see, let's pull in this calendar control. Here. I'll use that to like highlight the specific available dates that Luke has marked. so I can review. Name, email, available dates. Okay, yeah, and then I want to basically have a text box here of their desired. Let's shrink that down. Design, desired outcome. There, draw that. Line. There. There, make that a little bit smaller. Stop. Um, Okie dokie. I think from here, I either want to reach out and email Luke in case something came up and none of those requested dates work. That either means my schedule or my calendar is out of date or something unforeseen came up. But I think I can just use this screen here to potentially pick a date where I can pick one of the 3 available dates that Luke has sent in. I'll pick one of those 3 and then I can just click a button to schedule it. So let's add a button to schedule. Schedule workshop. Schedule workshop. Let's do it. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's make that a little bit bigger, make it more prominent. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Glad to know the volume is working out. I have been told that I mumble sometimes, so trying not to do that. Well, let's see here. That's kind of going to happen right there. Workshop scheduled, so I want to push these down. The joys of Miro. This is why using a tool like Martin Dilger's event modeling tool is excellent. It helps you with a lot of this, and I will be using that. I just kind of wanted to reform it today, just for fun. So let's grab all of these. Boom, and just move them over a bit. That's too far. And I didn't get them all. See, that's the problem. When you're working with a big board. Let's get there. I think I got them all. Okay, boom. That's going to remain underneath. Let's get these out of the way. All right, so Luke comes in, fills that out. I get it. I schedule it. Okay, then scheduled. Oh, I kind of need to send a scheduling confirmation. Yeah, he'd probably like to know that it's been scheduled. So yeah, we're gonna have another confirmation message. So remote, we'll say scheduled remote workshop confirmation sent. Okay, Lawrence says, I'm thinking if you want the information in your calendar when you have another workshop. Yeah, you're right, Martin. I would. What I'm planning on doing here is I have this think about calendar scheduling. I think I'm going to build out another small subsystem here that allows me to manage my own calendar or a shared calendar of some sort. Basically, like these are the available dates that I have for doing workshops. I might lean on something like Calendly for that, or another tool, uh, or I might just roll my own. We'll see how much effort that's going to take. Um, but you're right. It would be nice to have it automated and only show available dates that would potentially work. But I'll get to that a little bit later. So once it's sent, then I also need to get a working agreement sent out. The legalese around what's involved in the workshop, liability, all that good stuff. So let's see. But Luke is a high-ranking official within the Rebel Alliance. Uh, Leia was the general. Mon Mothma. I think maybe she's the only one that can assign a working agreement. So I might need to collect the fact or ask if the person signing or requesting the workshop has signing authority, and if they do, great. But if they don't, I'm going to need to collect the name and email of the person that can legally sign the document for a company. So that goes back to this initial remote workshop requested event. Is that the right thing? Or I could send out the agreement and then just in the email itself say, hey, somebody. Oh, but if I use DocuSign, I need to actually have them in DocuSign, so it sends it to the right person. So yeah. There's probably some correct verbiage here that I should use. So there, pick the date. Additional workshop details. And I'll just add one more screen here to my wizard. Let's see, I'll do that. And we'll say I don't know what the title should. I don't know what the title should be, but I need to ask a question like, are you authorized to sign legal documents for I could just put the company name in here, like Rebel Alliance. I mean, if I'm doing client side stuff, I mean, I could collect that, use that part of some like client side state, and just show it here, so it's a little bit more tailored, more tailored experience. And that is either going to be a yes or a no. So let me grab a little circle here again for Like a radio button. Yes. No. I kind of want to have yes, no, maybe so. Um, just for the fun of it, but I don't know what I'd do if it was somebody answered maybe so. I'd have to follow up with an email. And then if they click yes, great, I can move onward and request a workshop. Dang it. Go to the back. Go to the back. Go to the back. Page down. There we go. And then I want to actually copy next here. And let's say Luke, he doesn't. So let's fill that in. Nope. And when that happens, I just want to make a little note here. Will I trust this information or do some auditing of it? I'll definitely do auditing. This is kind of like when you request a workshop, that's kind of going to be the point where it's my first touch with a customer. And thank you. That brings up a good point. I also want to collect a phone number because I'd like to have a conversation, if possible, especially to get more information here, kind of about what their desired outcomes are, or maybe a little description of what systems they're working in, so I can get myself prepared to to run the workshop for the specific company. So yeah, I'm not just gonna straight up trust this information. I mean, I think people will be somewhat trustworthy, but yeah, I do need to guard myself against nefarious actors. Okay, so going back to this, he says no. I'm gonna need to conditionally display, so I'm just gonna mark that right now. A red sticking out. Conditionally capture. Authorized signator. Signer? Signator? I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna need their name and email at least. So I need a couple more fields here. It's gonna be in text. Please provide information for authorized. I gotta look that up, man. Where signator? Signer, signatory. Term that is used often in the form. Can revert. Oh, just signatory. Okay. Please provide information for authorized signatory. Let's see, full name. And press. And that means oh, nice. Specimens. Okay, cool. Thanks, Martin. Thank you again. Loving this. I want to just make now. I want to change that and just make a note. Do some research around specimen signature. Great, thanks. I will probably dig into that later on this evening. Okay, so capturing a few more things. Are they authorized? Yes, no. So signatory. That will be like a Boolean, maybe. No. Yes, no. I often use yes, no in my events here when I'm working with the business rather than true, false. I guess it really depends on the context. Sometimes it's yes, no. Sometimes it's true, false. There's other confirm, act, mac, all that stuff. Signatory, full name, say mama, and then signatory email, mama, rebel. Got those. Make that a little bigger. This event is already capturing a lot of details. That's great. Let's just make this all consistent. Cool. Wow. 2 hours. It's flown by. Another little link there. So step. Boom. Actually, I'm not going to link that up to the event yet. And you'll see why later when we get to identifying inputs. There's a missing piece here. Okay. Workshop requested, schedule workshop. Okay. So I know the right person who can authorize, who can actually sign the agreement. I expect to use a third-party tool there. No real screens. I need to design. Don't really want to design email text right now, but you can always put in kind of like an email template here as another interface. Same with invoice generated. Probably use. I don't really have any screens for generating an invoice, so that'll probably be another to-do list automation pattern. Invoice sent, invoice paid. That I'm gonna have to dig into probably some payment processors. I'd like to do this online, make it really convenient. So let me just make note of that here. I need to go run down payment processors. Research payment processors. There's a billion of them. and they all have different features, and they all have different, they take a different cut. Being a startup of about 17 days old, I want to be kind of frugal, as frugal as I can to extend my runway as long as possible until I get that first person to sign up for a workshop. Start earning some revenue so I can feed myself and my family. Okay, once again, so a receipt generated, automated, receipt sent, automated. Oh, there's gonna be lots of gears. Workshop confirmation, automated. Workshop confirmed, yeah. Once you paid, I can then confirm. Workshop packet sent. Workshop packet sent. Remote. Automation. Remote workshops scheduled. Ooh, okay. Okay. That. So somebody's going to need to reschedule. So I need to think about that. So that means Luke here is going to need to come back into the system and see that he has a scheduled workshop. Or maybe something like this, but just a list of workshops requested. List similar to what I have here, but just be the ones that Luke owns or created himself. And then he can click a button to reschedule. Of course, he can just send me an email too. So that means I'm gonna need like a. I need to think about that a little bit. It's a little bit afternoon here where I'm at, and I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. So I think what I'm gonna do is call it not a day. I think I'm gonna hop on here a little bit later and do some more streaming. But I'm gonna take like a solid little break here, collect some additional thoughts around what I'm building, and then get some food, fill the belly, get re-energized. Awesome. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Martin, for joining the Major Martin for joining the stream and providing lots of feedback. It's been fun. I'll probably be back a little bit later on today to continue this out. We'll see. All right. Rock on, everybody.